Art Acevedo, Chief of Police, Austin Police Department. Let me take off the battery on this so it doesn't go off again while I'm here. There we go. Thank you, got it. Anyway, again,
some of these guys get nervous when you reach down and
those guns. I mean,
out of your belt.
I hope nobody's watching this. I only have one bullet and one in my pocket. In case I miss, I'm not taken alive. But anyway, I just wanted to, on behalf of the Austin Police Department, I think that a lot of the officers, first of all, we're very much in favor of the Second Amendment. I came from California, which is the most restrictive state in the union when it comes to gun carry and gun laws, to the state of Texas, which really does understand and support the Second Amendment. I just strongly, and so I can tell you I'm very comfortable with responsible gun ownership. But I think that when you start talking about 21-year-olds and college students, responsibility is probably the last thing on the minds of a lot of those young people. They're under a lot, oh my gosh. He's doing that? My sister's in the background. I think she's doing it. I apologize again. It won't happen. I'm out of phone, so it won't happen. It definitely won't happen again. But when you think about 21-year-olds, you really don't think of responsibility. You just think of a lot of pressure. Suicides on college campuses are pretty high around the nation. These young people are under a lot of pressure, and the last thing we want to introduce into a college environment, kind of like a bar, is guns. I just think that when you look at the law of averages, we have a much greater opportunity for bad consequences from a bunch of young people running around with guns. And I'll give you an example. We had the University of Texas incident in September, I believe it was, where a young man with an AK-47 came on campus. I was on that scene within 5 minutes because I happened to be in the area with my general support officer. And one of the things that we had to put out to our officers was, because we thought there was a second gunman, if you are not in a fully police uniform or you are not in readily identifiable police garb, we ordered everybody to stay out of the zone, because every year in this country, kind of like in the military, as the last speaker spoke, we have deaths from friendly fire, and that's just one of the major concerns that I have. And so from that standpoint, I would be opposed to this, and I think a lot of my colleagues are as well. I'm talking to, I can't remember which member I just met a minute ago, but in some of the more rural areas where there is a legitimate concern about being able to drive to school, especially young ladies, if there's a way to find a happy medium, or maybe you can leave it locked in a glove box where if somebody starts acting bizarre and starts moving to the car, 911 can be called and police can respond in time. I think that would be a good way to find a compromise that might be more palatable to both sides of this issue. Thank you.
Members, anybody have a question for the Chief? Lon?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chief, thank you for coming and appearing. Earlier today, I asked someone on administrative faculty staff if there were any administrators on any campus in the state that were supporting this legislation, or were they all against this legislation in one way or the other on record. So now my question to you is, do you know of any of the police chiefs of the major urban areas in the state that have endorsed the idea of guns on campus?
I don't know of any, but that doesn't mean that one doesn't exist, but I haven't met any.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, Joe?
Quick question, sir. Thank you for being here. You represent Austin Police Department?
Yes, sir.
When you were talking about the shooter, I was just curious. You said, how did y'all coordinate with the campus police?
Well, we work in partnership with University of Texas Police Department, and obviously all the law enforcement agencies. I think partnership's real important. And when that 911 call came out of shots fired on campus, the calls came into two communication centers. They came into the University of Texas Police Department Communication Center and to the Austin Regional Communications Center. And so my first units arrived on scene within 2 minutes, and almost simultaneously with the University of Texas Police Department.
Okay. Also, how have y'all been able to get along with the CHLs in the city of Austin, people that carry now?
I think we haven't had any problems. I remember the first time I stopped somebody with a CHL. It was a very new experience for me, and but you know, I really do believe in responsible gun ownership. I think that you have to have the right to bear arms as part of our Constitution. I believe in it, but I just think that common sense to me would say that, just young people in college is not a good environment, and just like not in bars.
All right, you do know the bill excludes bars, because bars are excluded by CHLs.
Correct.
Okay, so that took care of that. And it has to be 21 to get a CHL license.
Correct.
Is in the bill. Okay. So we'll
I'm
make sure
aware
we're on
of
the same. Okay, we'll make sure we're on the same page.
Any other questions for the chief? Thank you for sharing your time with us today. And
Thank you. And I apologize for the
quite all
phones.
right.
Have a great day. Thanks for your service.